Hi everybody, I hope you're ready for a fun book tag video today. Today we're doing the dilemmas of a book nerd book tag. Let's get started. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing very, very well. I'm actually really excited to do this video today. I am so far behind on my booktube watching that I have been saving videos from my friends to go ahead and watch. And today I actually saw Britta from The Second Shelf and Sarah from Hardcover Hearts do the Dilemmas of a Book Nerd book tag, created originally by Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library. I will link all three of their channels and videos down below in the description box for you. So I thought it would be really fun on this lovely Sunday to do this video for you and answer some questions. Some of them I've answered in past videos, so it's kind of exciting to go back and just rethink, see if my answers have changed at all. But we might as well get started because there's quite a few questions. What's really cool actually is that this is really more about me as a book owner and reader versus actual titles. So we are going to be talking a lot more about just me as a book person, which I think is kind of fun. So let's get started with question number one. Question number one is storage. How do you organize your bookshelves? Now, I've already done videos regarding the bookshelves behind me, so I will link them down below so that you guys can check them out. But basically, I have two rooms full of books. The one behind me are all of the books that I have read. Up on the very top shelves, which you can't see in this video, are just alphabetical order by author, all of the books that I own and read. And then it sort of breaks down thereafter. I have collections that I really love, Europa, as you guys can see right here, Tor novellas. Oh, can I get my finger there? No, can't. Over there. After that are all books that I have gotten signed by authors, going to different events and meeting people, and I absolutely love. That is one of my favorite part of my bookshelves, is the experience of meeting authors, hearing them talk about their books. Then directly behind me is a shelf that is just really full of my collections of my favorite authors. You'll find Barbara Pym there. You'll find May Sarton there. You'll find all of Rebecca Mackay back there. You'll find all of Toni Morrison, clearly. Colson Whitehead is back there. All of Jacqueline Woodson's books are back there. And then down below here are graphic novels and other random stuff that has been given to me that's just important to me. Now, in my bedroom, across from my bed, are another very many shelves. And that is all of my TBR. Those are all of the books that I haven't read. And it's even larger than this section in here. So yeah, so that is how I organize my books. Check out my videos down below of my bookshelf tour. I did 3 of them, breaking up the shelves behind me, if you guys want to get an idea of what's on those shelves. Those stuff has been added. I have been reading since I've done those videos. Question number 2, tracking. How do you keep track of what books you've read and what books you own? Well, I only track what books I've read. I mean, I use Goodreads just like everyone else, and I think most of the people I know use Goodreads. I shouldn't say that. It's a blanket statement and probably inaccurate. My grandmother, who is my reading inspiration, has these little black books that she has been writing every book she's read since 1960-something. She has hundreds and hundreds of them in her house, which is just one of my things that's always inspired me, is that she knows what she's been reading for decades and decades. I am a Goodreads user. I like the scan function. It makes it really easy for me to know what I have read during a year, organize, and all that kind of stuff. I in no way keep a track of what I own because I just don't even know how I would get started with that. I once downloaded an app and I was going through my library, and like an hour in, I had gone through like 3 shelves in the app, and it was too overwhelming for me. So sometimes I buy books that I already own. It happens. And then I give them away to people and it makes me feel good. So there you go. Question number 3, do you lend books out? I do, though lately I have been sadly disappointed when I have gone for a book and found that I have never gotten it back. So I am cautious now to lend out books. I will not lend out any book that an author has signed. Those all stay on the shelf 100%. Those are mine and they are not going anywhere. I also won't lend out anything that I'm collecting. So like, for example, I'm trying to get all of the Barbara Pym and May Sarton in hardback, and I go to used bookstores and I collect them. I have paperback copies people are more than welcome to take from my shelves and borrow, but the hardbacks that I'm collecting, they're going to stay on the shelf for a while. Question number 4, buying. How do you buy or acquire books? Oh, do I buy books? Do I buy books? So there are a couple ways. I am infinitely blessed to be a booktuber and have had such good luck with different publishers sending me books. So I get Publishers Weekly, I read it, I request books, and I'd say probably 50% of the time publishers are very kindly sending me things, which I am so lucky for. Then I go book shopping. So I try to hit my favorite bookstores over every quarter that are in my area. So I try to go to Green Apple Books on the Park in San Francisco, Green Apple Books on Clement in San Francisco, Booksmith in San Francisco, Bookshop Santa Cruz in Santa Cruz, Books Inc. in Campbell, California, and Kepler's in Menlo Park, California. I would say those are probably my big ones that I try to get to every quarter, and I do keep sort of a list of things that I'm waiting for in order to go there and purchase them from one of my local independent bookstores. I also have a used bookstore that has 2 locations in San Jose. One is in Campbell and one is in San Jose, called Recycled Bookstore. I can walk to one of those, so that one gets a lot of play for me when I'm looking for something maybe a bit older or something that I'm just not sure if I'm going to completely love. I'll go to my Recycled Bookstore and support them, and then I bring a bunch of books too, and I have so much store credit there. Absolutely love them. If you are in San Jose, Recycled Bookstore on the Alameda, they will treat you great, and they will absolutely take care of you, as they have me for years and years. Question number 5. How do you respond to "how do you read so much" and other similar comments? This is an interesting question. I think I talked about this in a video not too long ago where I had someone actually challenge me on how much I was able to read within an hour, and then say that when I said and sort of gave the idea of how I calculated how much I read in an hour, said that I clearly didn't enjoy reading because I read too quickly. Now, I don't read quickly, actually. I just read in a lot of the time and dead space in my life. I take my book everywhere with me. I have an over-the-shoulder bag that has the book in it. So if I am waiting in line, I am reading. If I go to a coffee shop, I am reading. I take it to lunch. At work, I read. I read in the morning sometimes while my dogs are eating their breakfast. I don't watch a ton of TV, so if it's a TV show that I'm watching with my husband, I'll watch it. But if he's playing video games, I'll read. On the weekends, I get up early. I get up at 5, just like I would during the work week. I walk my dogs, and my husband is a late sleeper, so from about 5:30 after I've fed them until about 9 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday, I sit and read. I also travel a lot for work and drive, so I always have an audiobook going while I'm in the car, which has been very helpful in making sure that I get things read. So I just say to people when they ask me how I read so much, I usually say, when you are doing something on your phone, think about doing it in a book instead. If you are playing on some website that you just get sort of lost and dropped in, I do it too, but I try to use that time to read instead of get lost in that. And I try not to watch so much television that I just would rather use that time to read. So I hope that answers that question. There you go. Question number 6, next book. How do you choose your next book? So I have a true and tried way that I do this a lot of the times, and I have explained this in videos in the past. If I am done with a book and it is time to pick a new one, I wait till that night. I have a ginormous bathtub. I love to take baths. I go through my TBR shelves from one section. I pick 5 books from each part of my TBR shelves. I take them, the bath, I start the water, and then I read the first chapter in every one of those books. And at the end of that, when I think, gosh, which one do I want to know what happened in chapter 2? that is usually the book I pick up and continue with. Now, with BookTube, sometimes if I'm going to see an author, I will throw that book into the mix and know that I have to read it, or my book club book that I have to read, I'll throw that one in. But that is usually my true and tried way to do it. I take a ton of books with me when I travel, and I still, in the small, teeny tiny, uncomfortable hotel bathtubs, do the same thing in order to keep it just consistent in my life. So that's how I choose my next book. Question number 7, travel. How do you pick which book to bring on vacation with you? I just take them all. I usually have one half of an entire suitcase that is full of every book that I think that I could possibly want to read while I am on vacation, and I take them. And I am totally okay with that, because I know that I may not be into the book that I pick, and then I will not be happy. The other thing is I do a lot of book shopping when I travel. I go to local independent bookstores in all of the cities that I travel to, especially like if I go to Portland or Oregon, where my family lives. I'm always at Powell's or Smith's in Eugene, Oregon. I try to just go to local independent bookstores, and I pick stuff up too. So if I'm traveling, I know that I'm probably going to do some book shopping as well. So I'll fit in something there if I can't find something in the usually 10 to 15 books I take on my travels with me. Question number 8, annotate. Do you write in or mark up your books in any way? The answer is usually absolutely not. I do not like to write in books. However, if I am buddy reading with someone, I have these little stickies that I have found that I'll tag, and you can write on the sticky that I have started to use if I'm doing a buddy read. I did find myself, I'm still reading the collection of essays by Toni Morrison. I did find myself in that book using a pencil and underlining and writing. One, it's really bulky, so it was easier than trying to pull the thing. 2, there was just so much stuff that inspired me to underline and be like, oh my God, I totally agree, that it sort of went there, but that is very, very rare for me. I don't usually do that. So there you go. Question number 9, new or backlist, which do you prefer? I prefer them all. I love books so much. And I have, my TBR is mainly backlist, so I try to mix that into everything. But I'm always excited about new titles, debut authors, things from authors I love. So I'm always excited about stuff that's coming out new as well. I will say that new and backlist is sometimes for me, it's if I want to really spend some time with books that people have loved and tell me a lot about, I may do like a deep dive into backlist, because sometimes as a booktuber, if you are a booktuber or a book blogger, we get recommended a lot of books. People are constantly throwing titles at us that we do not know or we have never heard of. And I always try to pick them up if they sound like they really are something that I want to read, and get to them, because I want to read stuff that people are inspired by. So backlist is always important. But the new books are what I want to tell you guys about. I want to champion authors that are doing great work. And I also want to make sure you get to know authors that you may never have heard of. So there you go. There's the answer to that question. And finally, question number 10 is sequels. Do you read books as they are released, or do you wait for an entire series to be released? This question it really doesn't apply to me, because I don't read a ton of series. When I do read a series, it's usually fantasy. And I will say that I prefer that the books all be out, because it hurts my heart when I have to wait. I'm speaking to you, Europa Editions and the Mirror Traveler Quartet. I can't remember the exact name of it. I am dying for book 3 and 4 to be translated into English. Book 2 and 1 are right there above me. And it is killing me. It makes me sad. But so I really like when I get into a series that I can read them all. I'm super excited. Tor has a series coming out next year where each book in the 4-part series is being released month after month. So January, February, March, and April, which that works for me because I usually can read one epic fantasy a month. But I do like having them all with me together so that I can get through them, or have them at least to read consistently. So there you go. That's my series answer. This was a really fun tag video. I am really happy that I answered these questions, and I hope you guys liked my answers. very, very much. I'm going to tag anyone who wants to do this. I stole the ability to be tagged from Britta and Sarah. They are fantastic. Their links are down below. Please check out their videos. They are way more articulate and way more beautifully spoken than I am, and they can talk to you about these same questions. As always, I encourage you to shop locally, read globally, and until next time, I wish you happy reading, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!